Hey guys, it's Nikki. So it's finally time. It's finally time to talk about what happened a year ago. This is the video that I've been promising everyone. There's a reason why there was a wait for this video. I wanted to be mentally ready for it. And I also wanted to be a little bit close to the time when it did happen so we can kind of reflect on what happened. So let's talk about it. For those of you who probably are watching this and saying, what is she talking about? I'm going to show you lots of clips so you can catch up, so don't worry about it. So November 3rd of 2018 was the beginning of a life-changing situation for me, and a big eye-opener at the same time. So let me give you guys a background of exactly what kind of transpired. So at the time, I had a port. It was on this side. And I have von Willebrand disease. It's a bleeding disorder. I don't clot. When I'm bleeding, I have to infuse to control the bleeding. So November 3rd was day 3 of my bleeding. And 2 days prior to November 3rd was a sign that I didn't catch on to. For those who don't know, I home infuse. Because I am a nurse, I can do that. But for my patients who do this at home, you don't have to be a nurse, you don't have to be a doctor. You can infuse at home if you want to, if you learn how to, if you are knowledgeable enough, you and your care team, you guys can come to that understanding. So in that circumstance, for me, I'm a nurse and I was trained anyway, and I have a good relationship with my team. So this is what happened. Day 1, November 1st, I started bleeding, and I knew it was time to infuse. Usually the way I work is I let the bleed kind of transpire, and then once I notice that it's becoming a little bit uncontrollable, then that's when I start to infuse. So I accessed myself sterilely, and I started to infuse. About 15 minutes after the infusion, something happened. So I thought because I lost so much blood, I got extremely cold. I was really, really, really cold, and I just started shivering, and I was in like 7 blankets. I was on the phone with my mom, and I said, Mom, I'm really, really cold. I don't know what's going on. And she said, you're probably really anemic right now. You lost a lot of blood. So I was like, you're right. So I left it alone. November 2nd, I infused again. And this time, I infused, I waited a little bit, I got in my car, and where I live, I'm like kind of around the corner from my hematologist at the time. So I was in my car, I started driving, and as soon as he was like to my left side, his building, things really got crazy. I started shaking as my hands were on the wheel. I was really, really scared, like afraid. And I managed to turn my vehicle into his parking lot. And I ran upstairs and I was like, help me, something's happening to me. I'm like shaking and I'm so cold, So they rushed me to the bath. They said, what happened? I said, I'm bleeding, I infused, I don't know what's going on. So at that time, I was on Humate P, and I brought the boxes with me because I didn't know. I was like, maybe I should bring the lot with me. Maybe something's wrong. So I brought the box, and I brought myself to the doctor. And they said, listen, how many days do you have left to infuse? I said, usually it's like 7 days. So they said, come tomorrow, and then you're going to infuse in front of us, and we'll see what happens. I said, sure, no problem. So basically, they gave me like Benadryl, Demerol, and honestly, I think that was it. Benadryl, Demerol, Salumedrol, I want to say. Possibly. But that was, they resolved what we thought was an allergic reaction, I guess. So November 3rd, At this point in time, my god sister Ashley knew what was going on. My mom knew what was going on. So I told them, hey, listen, by myself, let's just stay on FaceTime with each other so you guys can kind of see what's transpiring here. So Ashley was on FaceTime with me. So port was still accessed. We never took the needle out. And we started to infuse. And that's when things got a little more serious. Watch below.
I know. Well, there's one other recliner, but you're not welcome to it.
I ate some.
Eat a bite of something, please. You didn't. No. Give him a Coke. Juice? No. Yeah, it's
Juice. Just juice. Yeah, you need.
I'll get you something.
You need some sugar. You like it? You don't got no color. Oh my gosh.
Slow registering.
This is what I hear when I'm standing there.
Orange juice, OJ. Yeah.
All right, so we're back now. So I know that was a little bit kind of confusing maybe and hard to watch. So first and foremost, I'm just going to say sorry now. I'm sorry for what you guys are going to see throughout this video. And please, if you can't watch it no more, just don't watch it. Don't watch it. I don't want to bring back more pain, and I don't want anyone to be afraid. So I just put that little, like a little disclaimer in here. Okay, so let's continue. So after that episode, I'm going to tell you what I know now. There might be some things I'm missing, and let me explain why. I lost my memory from that moment all the way up until the moment I was discharged. And it took 6 months for me to get back to like a daily lifestyle. So just kind of bear with me. So after that episode, I was taken to Mather Hospital in an ambulance. And from what I was told in the ambulance, I had a seizure. And they gave me Ativan. And I don't know what else, but I remember Ativan. I got to the hospital, and this is what happened.
So she had infusion yesterday. Yeah. And when did she have seizures?
She never has.
No.
They're not claiming it as a seizure. They're trying to say it's a seizure.
No.
It did look like it, but
It looked like seizure.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. So just describe me. Did anyone witness?
I mean, she was shaking just a little while ago. I mean, that's as far as what I witnessed.
Yeah.
Shivering, teeth, her jaws was like clamping.
she was like, can you please?
Yeah. No, but it was not. It was actually. It's not real a seizure. There's been
No,
We're not saying it was a seizure.
Yeah. It's look like a seizure. Yeah. Because when you have seizures, you feel like completely out.
Yeah.
You cannot respond.
I guess the reason why they were saying that is because her eyes, they said that her eyes rolled back. That's why they're saying that.
Okay.
But
okay.
that's not
Yeah.
what that is.
And plus she was responsive.
Yeah, that's really.
What did they say? Shock, I guess they were trying to say. That's what they were trying to say from the medication.
That one it can be. That
that one it can be. It's like a shock from the medicine. Yeah, it's actually
because
very
she had that
possible.
new medicine, unless they send her.
And literally, like, I was on the phone with her when it was happening. As soon as she infused, that, like, once the medication set in, that's when she went into that.
Yeah,
Yes.
she called me and she was like,
It happened
I'm like,
yesterday
you
as
better-
well.
I told you, better go to emergency.
Yeah, that resident.
Because I needed to make quick, so she's yeah. It's hard. So,
It's happening now.
it's happening.
It's not serious.
I figured that.
Nikki. Nikki.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it is kind of shaking. It's okay, baby. It's okay. It looks like it's like allergic reaction on something. Yeah, but it's definitely not. This one is definitely not seizures.
Yeah, it's different. I feel that the medication with the other ones that she's having, they clash. And they're not agreeing with each other. It could be anything. I'm just saying. It could be
This is all the options that they were saying.
yeah, it can be.
Nicole, you okay?
Nikki. Nikki.
Yeah, this one is a little bit different.
Because she keeps going in and out of that.
This is just a tachycardia. It's just the
There was a list of medications. There was a list of medications. Matter of fact, she's getting close to medicine. That's why she's getting agitated. Whatever they sent to the nurse, I guess that's the one.
So let me give her all treatment for like anaphylactic shock. I mean, we've given whole treatment for seizures too. We're treating all together.
You can
And
do
I'm
it.
also gonna do like a whole treatment for possible infection. Or treat together, and then we'll find out what it is. I mean, we're doing the whole workup, like with the electroencephalogram and that one. Listen, she may have it, and you just gonna the medication may just provoke it. I don't know, but let's treat it first. Okay.
Yeah, let's treat that.
Yes.
Did they flush the medicine that she had that she refused?
I will flush it with the like huge amount of fluids, and I will give her steroids, but I cannot just block it or reverse it. It's not like like you have a heroin and you give a Narcan and block it. I wish I have something like this. I don't. So I just have to flush it with the fluids and something like this.
So right now, you're giving me what? Right now, what do you?
I'm gonna give you fluids, antibiotics, medicines for seizures, everything else together, and then we'll find out what's wrong with you. Okay?
It's rabbits. All of that treats rabbits. Right now.
I don't know. I mean, I will treat you so far. I don't know for sure what's wrong with you.
They told her
I
yesterday
wanna-
was Raggers. That's what they told her
Like a
yesterday.
Raggers?
That's what they told her
No,
yesterday.
yeah, you do have it. I mean, partially. This, but I want to help you first, and then we'll find out what else.
So you're giving her everything you want.
Everything
You
together.
did one, yeah.
Yep. Okay, babe.
Can we do that?
Yes. You're gonna go upstairs.
Why?
Because
You need to be monitored. Hi, Boopy, guys. She's calling her grandma.
Mommy.
She's fine, guys. She's actually talking now.
Yo estaba en hospital.
She beautiful, guys.
Porque
Blessing.
la sangre que yo lo tengo en mi. So during that whole thing, you see bits and pieces of me where I'm like waking up and I'm talking and it hurt. I remember my jaw hurting a lot. Oh my gosh. I remember it hurt, and I was begging for it to stop. And Sorry, now I'm starting to get emotional because now I'm like, oh my God, I remember it a little bit. And at that point, my mom and Ashley had taken the LIRR to Mather to come and be by my side and help out. And there were so many tests being done. There was even a point in time where they were saying to my mom, did she take any drugs? No, like, no. But a lot of the hospitals out here where I live, they also don't know a lot about bleeding disorders. So they didn't understand that I infused factor prior to getting there. So they were kind of like 2 steps behind. And I'm going to tell you right now, from what you just saw, that video right there, the following 5 days after that, I have no memory. Not one thing. I don't remember a thing. I literally, going forward to explain anything, it will be my videos that were recorded by Ashley that you will see. I was told by my job, that they came, and I apparently tried calling out. Well, I called out like 5 o'clock in the morning multiple times, even though I have no memory of that. And I was told that a few people came to visit me. So to those of you who came to visit me, thank you. And for those 6 days, I was having seizures. I was having rigors for 6 days straight. And at the same time, I was bleeding the whole time. So they kept giving me factor, and that, was causing more problems. So that's why these things were like prolonged, because they kept giving it to me. So once they figured it out, they started to give me like 3 bags of saline at a time to flush out the humate pee and see if that would change anything, and it did. And then I remember the day that I woke up, and that was a tough time for me too, because I also found out somebody, close to me was passing away as well, and that was tough. And my grandma came, and for my grandmother to come, like that, that I know I must have been really sick. And from what my family tells me, the hospital told them they didn't think I was gonna make it, so that's why they asked everybody to come. And I fought through. I don't remember what I thought about anything. I don't remember thinking anything. I don't know. I may have been gone for a while. I don't know. But I remember it was tough. Just thinking, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm trying to hold it together, but I'm thinking like, that was a tough time. That was a time that there was just a huge question mark just kind of like over my head, over my hospital bed, So there were times, what throws me off is that there were times in the video where you guys see that I wake up and I talk, but I have no memory of that. I don't remember waking up. I don't remember saying anything to anybody. And then I would go to sleep, and then I would be in that situation again. Now, I don't really know. That was tough.
This is what's going on. Nicole, you hear me? Yeah. Okay, you gotta relax. You gotta relax. You gonna call for help? Right here? The red one?
So I asked Ashley to send me a video of her reaction with this whole big thing. So take a look what she had to say.
So I'm supposed to make a video, guys, today talking about my god sister Nicole Angeles and my experience about when she almost pretty much lost her life, and the effects on it, the effects it had on me. And yeah, so I'm gonna kind of talk about that today. I don't really talk much about stuff like this, but for her I will, so let's get to it, right? That day for me, first of all, let's explain who I am. Y'all probably don't even have an idea who I am, or maybe you do, because you know where I come from. We're very big in the community based on who you know. The broad person we're speaking about. We are speaking about Nicole, so that's how you guys know me. It's great, right? Anyway, so I wanted to talk about that day and what day was that. That was last year. On the same exact day, which is November 2nd. This day is very, very, very special to me, mainly because I almost lost my god sister, and that's my best friend. I don't have anybody other than her. I don't know anyone other than her. From childhood, you know, she keeps me really grounded a lot of the times when I don't know that it's supposed to come within yourself, you know. And it took a little while to like grab everything, all the emotions, everything that I went through that day, to like not, I don't know. It's just to not go crazy. Yo, I remember sitting inside the office, not the office, but the room with her, and she's shaking, and I felt so helpless. I didn't know what to do. All I knew is I was supposed to be there for her. You know, I just knew that internally, that's where I belonged, and I'm supposed to help her. Yo, for like days, like 3 days, I can remember, like, just not going home, not sleeping. And look, I sleep. I value my sleep so much, and for her, man, I broke it. I slept on the floor for her. I slept on this little chair for her. I didn't sleep at all for her. And I had to stay strong. And yes, I shed tears that day. But what hit me and knew that it was like a difference for me if I was to have lost her is when I went home and I was away from her for that moment. You talk about tears shedding, tears like nonstop. You talk about running a faucet and letting it run all day. Okay? That was just on full blown though. Just imagine it being on full blown. That is what I went through. Like, I was crying like that. I was crying like water was running hard through a faucet. That was one of the most hardest experiences I've ever had to deal with. I was crying hysterically in my sleep. I would break my sleep just because, like, I'm in deep sleep crying about her because of what I'm dealing with, the trauma that I was going through. And there's not a lot of, like, I am very strict when it comes to her being in the hospital. I jump on it as soon as possible. Something don't sound right. What are you doing? You went to the hospital? Did you speak to HCC? Did they tell you to infuse? Like, I am on it A1. Sometimes we got to go through guidelines and we run through everything, run through all our protocols, make sure that our steps are correct, just to make sure that she is on the right line and on the right track, because we cannot experience what we experienced last time. And it's like the most traumatizing thing that we've ever put ourselves, but it prepped us to be stronger for the next time, you know, what to prepare ourselves for if anything was to occur like this in the future. So I don't know if I have to sit here and tell you about my experience in a whole lump sum of a video. It'd be really hard to express to you because it'd be longer than just 5 minutes. This video would be, oh God, like I have videos for days, months of expressing how I really feel. If I was to combine all of that, you would understand the effect that this girl would have on me and what it means to me if I would have lost her. Nicole, I love you so much, and I am thankful every day that you are here. You're my rock. You're my friend. You're my everything, and I thank you for everything. And I'm glad that I get to spend another year with you. I love you. I'm sorry it took me forever to do this video too, but I just didn't, like, girl, school and everything takes a lot, but I got you.
Then I woke up. Then I woke up and, you know, dealt with that family situation that I had, and went home. And I kid you not, if you know me, you know I did this. I literally got in my car. Like when I got home, I got in my car a couple hours later. I didn't remember how to drive. I did not remember how to drive. I'm being so honest. I didn't know the stick was to move. I didn't know the wheel moved. Listen. So like I said in the beginning, yes, I had a port at the time. They did check the port. They cultured the port, and everything came back negative. They checked if I had the flu. It was negative. So they couldn't figure out why that happened to me. So even at one point they said I was like it was a psychological thing. I was like, but, you know, that's matter. So then it happened again. This time I knew not to go to Mather. I went to NYU. And then even then they cultured the port. It was negative. Nobody could figure it out, like what was going on. And then one day I was at work and I got really cold, like so cold. And I went to the hospital and had a fever. And that's when the port finally showed it was positive for infection. And the infection that I got was so severe because it was a certain type. And Stony Brook found the bacteria, but discharged me and said it was viral. Then called me back and said, oh, we made a mistake. I was like, no shit. And then I went to the city so they could handle it. And I was in the hospital for a while. And they were trying to save the port because there were some studies that showed that they could save the port. So we tried that because somebody like me, I need a port, unfortunately. So they were really trying to save it. And then I had a PICC line for a while. Then we took that out because I decided to take the port out because I realized that my life was really more precious than this little device that was trying to kill me. So we took it out. And then I got a tunnel catheter replaced about 3 weeks after the port was removed. But it was one of the best things I've ever had, but it was also one of the most annoying things I had. Take a look. So, after I realized that the tunnel catheter was very beneficial but very annoying, I went and got 2 professional opinions about putting the port or a port back just on the opposite side. And now I live with the new port, and I'm way more cautious now. The bacteria that I got, you get it from a hospital setting, something like that, they said. So it wasn't like I did something wrong. I think it was just my surroundings, and it just happened to jump inside my port. So, you know, with the work that I do, it's just very complex when it comes to also my lifestyle. So it's like I kind of don't want to lose. But I needed to do this video because I needed to talk about what happened a year ago. I think I kind of suppressed everything because I realized that that was a time where I was really about to leave my family, my sister most importantly. But I never stopped fighting, and that is why this is also so important to me, because I was really sick, and I let people dictate what they wanted to do. And I stood up for myself even after what happened, and I made sure that I got the health care that I needed, the medications that I needed. I'm now on Vanvendi. And I also made sure that even though I know that I had a really serious infection, that I took careful consideration getting another port. And I'm even way more cautious with my port. Like, people cannot touch me or hug me while it's accessed, or when I just de-accessed it. So it was more of a learning thing for me. But I'm glad I'm here, and I'm glad that I made it through. And like I said, this video was more so to just reflect on what happened a year ago and just be thankful that I'm still here. I'm here to continue spreading awareness and continue helping to guide those who are in need. So thanks for watching the video. And if it made you sad again and relive what happened, I'm sorry. But we had to do it. We have to face our demons, right? So thank you.